Okay, what we're doing this week is we're doing multiplying and dividing decimals by whole numbers. So we'll start off with the easy ones, multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1000. First thing you've got to think about is your place value. Your decimal point is fixed. Your numbers or values move along the decimal point. So if you're multiplying and dividing by 10, the zero, it has 1 0, so you move 1 place. 100 has 2 zeros, so you move 2 places. 1000 has 3 places, 3 zeros, so you move 3 places. If you're multiplying, the numbers move that way. If you're dividing, the numbers go that way. So this one, 3.25. So the 3 was in the units column, so it moves 1 space, so the 3 ends up in the tens column. The 2 was in the tenths column, we move it 1 space, so it goes to the units. The 5 was in the hundredths column, we move 1 space, so it ends up in the tens. So 3.25 ends up as 32.5. Similarly, when we divide by 10, we shift the numbers that way, 1 space. So 25.7, the 2 was in the tens column, we move it 1 space, so it goes to the units. So the 2 is now in the units column. The 5 was in the units column, it moves 1 space and it goes to the tenths column. And the 7 was in the tenths column, it moves 1 space and it moves to the hundredths column. And the same thing, if it was timesing by 100, these would move 2 spaces. This one would move 2 spaces, this one would move 2 spaces. So 3.25 times 100 would be 325. Okay, so what happens when we have something times by 100? So we've got these ones. So 18.2 times by 100. So we're moving the numbers 2 spaces that way. So 2 spaces that way for the 2 would actually be the tens column. So we have a gap in the units column. So to fill the gap in, we fill it with a 0. So 18.2 times 100 will be 1,820. Similarly, if you've got 4, that means 4.0. We've got an invisible decimal point, but it's still there. It's always there. So 4.0 divided by 10, we move the 4 1 place, so it goes from the units to the tenths column. And again, it's not great form to write 0.4, so we put the 0 into the units column, so it's 0.4.